So how cool would it be if your business could just run itself? So you could step away and go to Hawaii or herd sheep or do whatever it is you dream of doing if you just had more time. Well, believe it or not, it is possible. And the secret is you need to install an operating system in your business. And fortunately, that's exactly what we're gonna cover today. Whether you realize it or not, your business has an operating system. All companies, even the most poorly run companies, have operating systems. Operating systems shape everything from how customers are acquired to how products are fulfilled to how employees are hired and even how those pesky bills and taxes get paid. Now, later on in this video, I'm gonna give you some red flags to look for so you can spot if your operating system is stalling your company's growth. But first, let's take a closer look at the definition of an operating system. According to the good folks at Google, an operating system is a set of algorithms that supports the desired outputs of a machine and provides a common language by which different components can communicate with one another. All right, let's break this down, shall we? Set of algorithms is a fancy way of saying your business's processes and procedures. This is the source code that makes your company run, and documenting them is step one in designing and installing your company's operating system. Now, the big mistake that most companies make is they try to document every little process and procedure. And I'm here to tell you, don't do that. It's largely a waste of time and it will only annoy your best people. That's why I encourage all of the business owners that we work with, all of our clients, to start off by documenting the two most critical algorithms in every business. And they are, number one, your process for acquiring new customers and clients from scratch. And number two, your process for fulfilling your product or services after the sale is made. These are what's known as your company's growth engine and fulfillment engine. And while it's common to have multiple growth and fulfillment engines in any given company, all companies will have at least one of each. So that's why this is where I suggest that you start the process. And look, don't get overly fancy with this. At my company, the Scalable company, we find that whiteboards and sticky notes work just fine. So the goal is not perfection. The goal is to communicate as simply as possible exactly how your company creates and delivers value for your customers. Now, once your algorithms are documented, you can move on to phase two of the operating system creation process, which is to define your common language. Now, common language is simply how your company communicates. Wrapped into this kind of broad-based category are things like what scorecards and dashboards do you and your team need to look at? How do you use tools like email, Slack, and Zoom? Your meeting rhythm, right? When do you meet? When is it appropriate? And even your company's core values and accepted standards of behavior. I probably don't have to tell you that communication is everything as your company scales. So to test if your common language is up to par, I want you to ask yourself the following question. How easy is it to diagnose a problem and make a plan to actually solve it? That's it. As a team, are you able to, one, discover problems quickly when they arise, and two, design an action plan to actually solve those problems? Show me a company who can pivot in as close to real time as possible, and I'll show you a company all speaking the same language. Finally, we come to the third component in any company's operating system, and that is desired outputs. Desired outputs are the company's stated goals and objectives. They're your mission, your vision, and they're how everyone on the team knows where you're going and what matters the most right now. So if you put them all together, algorithms, common language, desired outputs, that's what gets you an operating system. Desired outputs tell us where we're going. Common language ensures that progress towards our goals are communicated, and our algorithms are the source code that make it all happen. This is the secret sauce to building a company that can run by itself. Now, I said earlier that all businesses have operating systems. The problem is most businesses aren't running an updated OS that's truly scalable. This is a bit like trying to run a supercomputer on a pirated version of Windows 95. So should we be surprised that most entrepreneurs experience system overload and that dreaded blue screen of death? Oof, that brought back some bad memories. So to close things out, here are 6 signs that your company's OS may be outdated and may be in need of an upgrade. Number one, there is no specific actionable plan for executing on key priorities. And if there is, it's not being followed. It's always, next month will be better, or if we can, just get a few more sales, everything will be great. right? But the reality is there are no specific measurable steps consistently taken toward your goals. Number 2, work is chaotic and nothing important ever seems to get done except the things that are on fire. You know what I'm talking about, right? If you feel more like a firefighter than a business owner most days, there's a good chance that your operating system needs an upgrade. Number 3, your team needs to be constantly told what to do. Even the people who should know better. No, Brian, you don't need to make 100 copies of that. You know how expensive ink is. Suzanne, did you really bring an iguana to the office? Come on. Number 4, meetings always feel like a waste of time. Ladies and gentlemen, I have gathered you here today to tell you the exact same crap I told you yesterday and the day before, and let's face it, this could have been an email. Number 5, profits are lower than they should be, even on higher sales. This is when you're saying things like, if sales are up, why the heck is there no money in the bank? Number 6, no one seems to have any idea what the problem is or how to fix it, and worst of all, they don't even seem to care. Look, if you're experiencing any or all of these challenges, there is a really good chance that your operating system is due for an upgrade. So, before you get frustrated, and certainly before you fire everyone, and definitely before you fire yourself, I encourage you to ask yourself this question: is your operating system scalable? If not, follow the 3 steps that I laid out in this video. First, document your set of algorithms, those critical value creation processes that make your business run. Second, document your common language. Create dashboards and scorecards so that everyone knows what's going on, and define your meeting rhythm and communication architecture so the right information is shared with the right people at the right time. And finally, define your desired outputs. Look, if you aren't meeting quarterly, at least quarterly, to plan your goals and objectives, start meeting quarterly and make sure everyone in the company knows exactly where you're headed and why you're headed there. Just remember that once an initial version of your operating system is installed, your job is still not done. Sorry, you can't board that plane to Hawaii just yet. You still have to continue to develop and coach your people to adhere, align with, and improve your operating system over time. Now, I often say that the primary reason that businesses stall out is that they reach the limit of their founder or owner's capacity to adapt. And if you're interested in that, check out my other video on the 4 founder types so that you can get clear on what type of owner your company needs you to be today.